Actually, John is an official USTA official, and he's very up on rules. Except when it comes to his shots, he's likely to stretch the rules and bend them a little bit.
Stretch the truth.
Yeah, stretch the truth, yeah. Okay, the first tip of the night is that when you're at the net and the ball is lobbed over your head, most club players think that the proper way to switch is to run parallel to the net and move to the other side. But that's not really the best place to go. If you're standing at the net and the ball is lobbed over your head, you really should retreat to the caddy corner service line. As the ball goes over your head, you should come back to this position. That way, because they're going to likely take the net, thinking that your partner's in trouble. And if they do take the net and he is in trouble, and they get their racket on the ball, if you have come straight across, you're going to get the Wilson sandwich. You're better off coming back to here so that if they play on the ball, you've got a shot at it. And if your partner comes up with a particularly good shot, then you come back into the net and take the net. But it's a bit of a misnomer that the switch means to run parallel to the net. That's not really the best place to go. You should retreat to the caddy corner service line until you see what your partner does with the next shot. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and get started this evening. I'm going to start with two tips. One is, this is not a rule, but it's something that I think you'll find very helpful. When you open a new can of balls in tennis, it's a good idea if you put the empty can, Bruce, if you put the empty can underneath the net like this, for two reasons. One is the wind won't blow it around while you play. And secondly, oftentimes when a match is finished, people can't find the can. This way it's always going to be right there. I did have a lady in one of my beginner classes came back to me the next week and said her opponent objected that it made the net higher. Yeah, alrighty then. Alright, on a technical note, my tennis tip of the week is the importance of turning your head to see the ball. All tennis coaches remind you to watch the ball and watch it longer. If you don't turn your head, you cannot see the ball at the most important time that you need to be watching the ball. For example, when you're at the net and the ball comes to your forehand side, most people do this. Their eyes are looking across the net and they're trying to find the ball with their sweet spot without looking at it. So it's important that when you turn to hit that volley, look where my eyes are looking. Right here where the contact needs to be. If you don't turn your head, you're not going to make good contact with the ball. On either side and in the back court as well. Turn your head or you cannot see the ball when you're trying to hit it. You might have watched it approach, you might have watched it cross the net, but if you're not turning your head, you're not going to see the ball at contact. Jimmy just asked a question about a technicality on the court. The question was, if he and I are playing against each other and his ball comes across the net and bounces on my side and goes back all by itself, am I allowed to reach across the net and hit it? The answer is yes. A lot of people are surprised about that. It's the only time in tennis that this player is allowed to reach across the net and hit the ball, but I still cannot touch the net with my racket, my body, or my feet. I have to reach across the net, hit the ball without touching the net. So one would ask, what would cause a ball to come across from Jimmy's side to my side and go back by itself? What would be one example? Spin. Right. If Jim put a lot of backspin on that ball, it could bounce and go back. What would be another cause? Wind. And don't be looking for another, there isn't any. Those are the two things that would make the ball come across, bounce, and go back by itself. And there are players who can do that intentionally. Oh,
if there's a rock on the court, you hit the rock.
Well, there you go. All right. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask about tennis or life in general?
One other one. If you hit a ball, I know you could hit around the post.
if it goes between the post and the net.
That's called a through shot, and it's not allowed.
Not allowed. Thank you.
Good question.
A 100 years ago.
If my partner's receiving serve, typically I would stand on the service line here and help him call that serve out if it's long. But the rules allow me to stand anywhere I'd like. Sometimes you're going to have an opponent come and hug this line right here, which in my opinion is unsportsmanlike. You're trying to affect where you serve the ball and get into your head. But they're allowed to do this. Mind you, they're actually allowed, I'm actually allowed, if Rich is my partner, I'm actually allowed to stand in the service box. I don't know why I would do it, but the point is, this partner of Rich can stand anywhere he wants. But if I'm playing against somebody who's given me this routine, I try to hit them with my serve. Because if I hit them on a fly, this person loses point. Understand though that if the server tries to hit this guy and it bounces first and it then hits him, this guy doesn't lose the point. You know why that is? Because when the ball bounced here and it was in the wrong box, the ball became a dead ball. It was out. It was a fault. It's not a live ball. But you don't want to get hit by a live ball. In the finals of the US Open years ago, one of the players had thrown a lob up in the air, and the opponent was standing where Dan is, and the opponent wound up to hit an overhead. So this player ran for the hills, and he was up against the fence, and Dan's overhead hit him on a fly in the rear end. This player lost the point. So what would the typical club player say? But I was way out of bounds. And the rule is, it doesn't matter. If you get hit by a live ball, you lose the point. So I'm hoping all of you are smarter now than when you got here.
Well, here's what happened yesterday. I served the ball, it was clearly toward the line over here, and the receiver called it good and Parker called it out. And they wanted to call the second serve. I said, that's not the rule. What happened? And if it's not the rule, one says good, one says out, it's our point. However, my partner, without thinking, said, let's play a let.
Okay, well, you need a new partner.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you heard what Bruce was saying. If there's a disagreement on the other side, whether the ball was in or out, it no longer matters whether it was in or out. They lost the point.
Oh, okay.
If there's a disagreement whether it's in or out, that team loses the point.
In the favor of the,
Ron,
Yes.
if you're trying to help your partner call, you're receiving,
Yes.
and you're standing here to help him call it.
Yes.
But some guys love to stand here.
Yes.
I say you have a 30% better chance of calling it properly from here than going back like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so the guys who stand here, it's great, you're an offense, but you can no longer help your partner call the serve properly.
Stay there, Rich. And the other problem with playing where Rich is that when I return the serve, if the net player gets his racket on the ball, this opening has just become so much bigger, and Rich is much more vulnerable at getting hit by the ball. So clearly you're better off starting on the service line. All right, good.